It's starting recording. As it started. There we go. Right, so hello and welcome to Special Guest Saturdays. With me, I have my good friend Ewan Murray. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm very good. How are you?
Very good. I'm all right, thanks. Now that the sun's gotten out a bit, although as I've said that, it's just gone away from me behind a cloud.
It has.
Right, so you are quite a multifaceted musician. You play quite a few different types. So what types of music do you play?
Primarily, I play classical music because that's kind of mainly what I grew up with my mum teaching violin. So yeah, classical music's my main thing. I started piano first, then dabbled with trumpet before kind of settling on organ as my main instrument. So yeah, that's the classical side of things. Then there's also been from a very young age kind of a bluegrass Americana kind of influence because my family have always kind of played music, bluegrass music, and kind of gone to campsites with friends and always sat around playing bluegrass music. So I've always had that going on in the
Yeah.
background as well. So I play a bit of bluegrass banjo as well. And then I guess mainly at sixth form, I kind of delved into other avenues with big band and kind of into the sort of jazz and pop realm as well. So I've kind of dipped my toe in most genres, I think.
It's certainly a spread, definitely a wide spread from bluegrass to swing stuff like we played back in big band. So with that in mind, what do you prefer? Do you prefer bluegrass or swing? What's your favorite to play?
I mean, I do love playing both, but I think it would have to be bluegrass for me.
Yeah.
I think just there's something I've always really liked about bluegrass. It's kind of the style quite often is that you're in a really bad situation. Like the lyrics are about a really miserable story, yet it's set in a major key and in a really up tempo kind of style. And there's lovely close harmonies quite often as well. And it's just it's just kind of a style that sort of takes a bad situation almost and tries to kind of cheer you up. So it doesn't matter what mood you're in, it's always going to cheer you up. Really.
And that's exactly what you need in times like these.
Absolutely.
I think everyone should try and dip their toes in that genre at the moment. Try and make it out of a bad situation.
Yeah, definitely worth exploring, I'd say.
Of course. So what is your favourite song to play? And this can be on any instrument.
I'd say in terms of kind of, I don't know, in terms of pop and kind of that side of things, when I used to play at our local pub for piano nights once a month, I think my favourite there, always my favourite to end on, was My Song by Elton John. So, but yeah, anything kind of, anything feel good that has a feel good factor, or equally things that are a bit more depressing and kind of have a lot of feeling in them. I like quite a range of things really. And then classical, in terms of classical, I'd probably say kind of anything by Brahms. Basically, he's my favorite classical composer.
I must say as well, during the piano nights, I absolutely loved the composition of "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies.
That was another good one. Yeah. It was just a piano. I think it was the arrangement that was used on an advert for something. But obviously the original is the Pixies, and love the Pixies. So.
So where's your favourite place that you've performed? I know that you've performed in quite a few different churches with organ, but
I've played in a fair few cathedrals around the country. I've performed with youth orchestra when I used to play the trumpet. I've performed at Vegada Hall in Budapest, which was pretty impressive. That's their version of the Albert Hall.
Yeah.
And then here I've kind of performed at Birmingham Symphony Hall and Newcastle, Gateshead Sage.
Yeah.
So I've been in quite a few things, but I'd say my favourite venue is probably either Welbury Pub on a Saturday night, because it's home. And it's just kind of around people I know, and it's just kind of a really nice setting in a pub kind of environment. Or just out busking as well. That's fun, like in the Falton or Saltburn or something. It's fun to play outdoors as well. So yeah, I would say I've enjoyed the big venues, but like also just the little kind of venues near home.
Intimate.
Yeah,
that's definitely what makes it a lot of the time with music, especially with like, you know, the piano night was just that atmosphere, more sort of So which musician would you most like to meet? I know that you touched a little bit earlier on
Brahms. Brahms, definitely. I think it would be good to meet Beethoven, just because he was a bit crazy by the end. Same with most classical composers, to be honest. They both had they all had a screw loose somewhere. And then a living musician. I don't know. I mean, Shane MacGowan's still hanging on from the Pogues, but I'm not sure he'd have a lot left to say. I really love Kate Rusby's singing. She's a folk singer, quite famous in this country for English folk singing. So yeah, I think I'd enjoy having a chat with her as well.
Like obviously with folky music, there's so much story behind a lot of it, and you don't actually hear much sort of in the mainstream of English folk. So like what artists would you recommend for people like sort of getting into that genre?
Absolutely Kate Rusby. Just because of her voice, like it's just the most beautiful. She's from like Barnsley, I think, so it's got a bit of a Barnsley tinge, but she's got such a pure voice. It's just incredible to listen to. She's got an album out recently, a few months ago, called Hand Me Downs, and it's essentially folk covers of like pop hits from the past sort of 50 years. It's just like eight ones, like including Friday I'm in Love by Cure, and then the other end of the spectrum, Shake It Off by Taylor Swift, but done in like an acoustic folk style. And so if you were looking for kind of a bridge, I guess, between folk and pop, then that album Hand Me Down would definitely be one to go for.
Because it's got that sound, but it's got the familiarity of lyrics that obviously people will be able to sing along to. Yeah,
absolutely.
Fantastic idea. So I think we shall leave it there.
Very good.
For the conversation. So it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to be invited onto your wonderful channel. I'm honoured.
Well,
to be one of your first guests when we look back in 5 years' time and you're like, I don't know, you've got like you've got all the pop stars on, you know. I'd be like, well, it's on the second edition, second only to Isaac.
Yeah. There you go. So I shall see you in the next one.
Indeed.
Adios. Bye for now.
Bye.
Adios.